Should we just start playing There Goes My Hero and like get the stadium lights going or what?
Yeah, well, you got to be a hero to start off with, you know, so we'll take the loser trophies.
Yeah.
So,
well, you know, you announced your retirement this week, and we were just talking, but like weight lifted off the shoulders a little bit, right? Because I think you were thinking about that for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I was. I mean, I talked to my dad. Obviously, I said in my press release before I won, or after press day down, I'm like, I ain't got it anymore. You know what I mean? Like, I got one more year left in me to really empty the tank, but to do it another year it's a pretty tall ask, and I'm never going to be a Supercross only guy. So it just wasn't in the cards. I truly love outdoors, and if I can't do both indoor and outdoor, then it's my time to go. So give the spot to the next person. So, yeah, it is a weight lifted off my shoulders. I ain't got to worry about it. People don't have to fucking ask me about it anymore. If I'm going to stay around, it's done and dusted. So move on.
I'm sure to a degree you expected this, but how has the feedback been? It seems like all positive, right?
I mean, Ripper, who did my video for me, because I asked him, I said, hey, I want to put out a video and I want you to do it. And I wanted Weeds to do my press release because I've been friends with Weeds for a long time. And I always told him, I said, when it's over, I said, you can do my stuff for me. He said, absolutely. So I've been working on it for about 3 weeks. And yeah, it still kind of blows my mind how many people actually cared and how many fans and people in the industry. You really don't realize that. But to me, it does mean a lot. And like I said, I'm not an emotional person, but that makes me a bit emotional, you know what I mean? So the feedback's been great, and I'm not really that deserving of that sort of support, so I appreciate it.
Like you said, it's 1 year left to drain the tank, so now that your mindset changes where you don't have to think about next year or anything like that, is it just full send?
Yeah, well, I'm really looking forward to outdoors. Like I said, outdoors has been my bread and butter. Like, I'm not bad in Supercross. I'm top 10 guy in Supercross, but outdoors really saved my career just from the grinding and putting in the work and suffering. So I'm looking to get back in the summertime and really stroking out. And I actually had my first outdoor day on Tuesday this week, and I woke up Wednesday and I'm like, holy fuck, I'm shot, you know? So I'm gonna miss that feeling later on in life, but as of right now it hurts, but it's the feeling that I'll miss.
Like you said, the emotions of it, making the announcement is one thing, but now we have like, 7 months until it actually ends? So you soak these up a little bit?
Yeah, now I can actually enjoy it a little bit more and not have to wait. You know, people say, oh, well, why'd you announce it kind of so early? Well, it's just like, I don't want to have to talk about it, you know what I mean? And then I can just go ride my dirt bike for what it is. If I have a bad race, I have a bad race, you know what I mean? So, you know, could I do another year? Yeah, I could, but when your heart's not in it, I'm not going to go out there and milk it around and half-ass it. So that's not fair to me. That's not fair to my sponsors. And it's honestly not fair to the next kid that's looking for a spot to try out or come to the club or whatever. So swallow my pride and move on.
Points leader, do you change your mindset a little bit because the gap is bigger? Like, if it was a little bit closer in the title fight, maybe it's go for it this weekend, but now that you have a little bit of a cushion, does it change at all?
Not really, honestly. It's still go for it, and yeah, I want to win really bad, and yeah, I don't want to change my mindset. I think just keeping the same mindset and just doing what I know I was capable of doing the last couple weekends. So obviously that's the goal, and just let that all kind of play out. You know, I really believe that everything happens for a reason, and yeah, we'll just see how the weekend goes. But yeah, same mindset. I mean, it's definitely nice having a little bit of a cushion now. I'm not sure. I think it's 12 point, or I don't know how many points it is, but yeah, it's definitely not as tight as it was a couple weeks ago. So that I can breathe a little bit, but yeah, looking forward to a fun weekend, and hopefully the two Cali boys are battling up front.
This last little break before the showdown and these final 3 rounds, was there anything you're still fine-tuning or working on testing during the week?
As far as my Supercross stuff, no, I've left everything. Outdoors, you know, the team came out for a couple days. We did some outdoor testing, and super happy with the bike. I haven't rode it outdoors really at all, so this thing is sweet outdoors also. So that was nice to know. And yeah, I mean, obviously want to finish the Supercross season, but I'm really looking forward to outdoors now too.
You've been training in Florida this year and working on stuff as well, so this is like the most east round you're going to have this year, obviously. Do you expect to feel a little bit more comfort then in the dirt and the soil and everything because it's what you're working on every week?
Yeah, I could see that for sure. I'm glad everybody I've talked to says it's pretty soft, so hopefully it gets pretty rutted. And yeah, I think, I like when it's rutted, obviously, and the softer dirt's what I'm used to. So it should be a good time, and hopefully the track shapes up well.
For you, leading the points, Cam leading the points, how much would it mean for you guys to bring Mitch back a championship at this point this year?
Yeah, I mean, it'd mean everything. That's what we're both working for, and we really both of us want to get our, a plate up on that door. So, yeah, that's the end goal.
Red plates on the bike, so battle royale for the teammates to try to win this thing, or what?
Yeah, we're obviously excited to be here. It's cool to have our first East-West shootout, and that both of us have a red plate's pretty special. But I'm just really excited to race in Nashville. I haven't raced here before. It's a really cool city. I've heard good things about the past races, from people who have. So, just excited to be here.
In the past, like the championship fights that you've been in, I feel like it's built up to a point where you've been in the title fight and then either crashes or something has taken you out of it. What have you learned from those experiences that you've kind of like used this year?
I think I've said it quite often this year, but really just staying present and not getting my head, not being ahead of myself mentally, just thinking about today, what I'm doing right now on press day, hanging out, doing my spin, whatever. Tomorrow, thinking about tomorrow and not thinking into the future too much. And yeah, just staying where I'm at. So that's one of the biggest things for me. And, not, I guess, premeditating stuff. Just let's race.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last week, like you had said, I think on the podium that you were happy with the speed and the comfort you felt in the main, and if you had started with Hayden, maybe it was a little bit of a different story. So did you, I guess, learn anything last week in coming through the field and pick up on some things that you worked on this week that you think will be better this weekend?
Yeah, my starts were really bad last weekend. Actually, my heat race start wasn't so bad. I got hit in the first lane, like on one of those tabletops, and someone hit my back wheel and put my bike completely sideways and I landed on the next tabletop sideways and stopped, which I got really lucky that I didn't get hit by anyone. But in the main, I flinched on the gate, and right as I was pulling my clutch back in to back my bike up, the gate dropped. So that was frustrating to start that far back, but I was really happy with how fast I was able to come through. I think I was probably maybe not quite 10th, but right around 10th going down the first rhythm lane. And by the time by the end of the whoops, I was in third. So I had a pretty exceptional first lap. But yeah, that's just something that's huge. Obviously, you got to start up front. There's a good handful of us that are so close. That's really important. But I was really happy with my riding. And I've just been really happy with my riding during the weeks, on the weekends. It's been consistent. I've just had good feeling, and I'm excited to, we have 3 rounds left. So it's kind of crazy to me that we're already that far through, and our season's so short. But yeah, I've never been this late, so it's something I'm really grateful for.
Just quickly on the point of getting through the field early, like you had said, you're a little bit of a veteran of this class now. Is there like an art form you've learned about weaving through guys early in the race that you've utilized?
Yeah, definitely. You got to do it quick. Like that's every opportunity you can, you got to take it. And yeah, I've definitely learned what's available and what's not. I think in the past sometimes I would try to make stuff available or try to take stuff that wasn't available, and maybe it's gotten me, So yeah, there's definitely a way of doing it, and it's not easy. It's not ideal either. We don't ever want to.
Lastly, I asked Levi about, he trains on the East Coast, but you train on the West Coast, and now we're kind of like an East Coast showdown. Like this is more East Coast dirt.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Like, how do you expect it to feel racing him when you guys are training on opposite coasts like this?
Honestly, like one of those things, it's almost kind of like, it's similar to like the question of going into Daytona. When I won Daytona in 2021, I rode our K2 test track the week before, which is like probably our hardest packed test track.
Yeah.
We've all raced so much, rode so many different track conditions all the time, that I really think that whoever's just in their best form is going to do the best. Obviously, some conditions do cater to others, but I think the best guy just wins it. Like I think that's just what happens. And like I do train on the West Coast, but I think last weekend, aside from last weekend, you guys haven't seen one hard pack track that we've raced on. Like we've raced on probably the most gnarly rutted tracks that I've ever raced in my career, and certainly our test tracks are nothing even close to that. So, and I don't think even if you're in Florida, your practice track doesn't get like they do at the race. It's just not. It's not possible. There's not enough bikes.
Showdown, and you're right in the middle of a title fight. Is it a little bit more nerve-wracking to come into this weekend knowing that this is kind of a big deal then?
Yeah, it's gonna be an important race for sure. I mean, the result is gonna be key tomorrow for the championships. Hopefully, we can put it in our side, I would say. And no, it's gonna be nice actually to ride and to race actually the other guys in the other coast and see a little bit where we are. And I'm just gonna take it as a normal race. I would say try to ride for myself, try the best, and we'll see where we end up.
Last week you said that you kind of struggled with gelling with the track, gelling with the bike throughout the day, and you're going to go back to work this week. So what did you work on? Did you find some stuff?
Yeah, actually I had some really good start this week, and I think I found something pretty good. So hopefully we can make it work for the main event. And I worked a little bit on the suspension. We also made some changes, so the bike should be better than last weekend. And yeah, that's the goal. I think today, I mean, the weather is not that good, but I think it should be dry for tomorrow. And we're going to have some normal condition. The track should be, I remember from last year, it's pretty dry and outback. So no, I think we make the bike pretty good, and we see tomorrow.
As you said, it's going to be hopefully dry tomorrow.
Yeah.
Has it been tough at all when you're doing those testing things during the week and then we go to a race weekend and it's a rainy type of race that you don't really get to feel what you worked on, and now this weekend you can?
Yeah, it's always different, you know, like I think we found something good on the bike, but once you come to the racetrack, like, you know, like it's always different, and hopefully it's as close as the practice, and we can have a good bike.
Last week, the last thing I'll ask you is last week you still ended up on the podium despite struggling. Is it nice that even on your bad days in Supercross now you can still get on the box?
Yeah, actually it was kind of a win for me. I was struggling in the main event. Like I was riding tight with my arms were tight, and I was not riding that good. And I was actually surprised that Cameron was not that fast. I was struggling a lot, and he was still right in front of me. And Aiden was actually gone, to be honest. He was like, I kind of understand, like, if you feel good, like, he was gone because I was riding pretty bad. And yeah, third was really important. I was focused to finish on the third place, and I saved some good points with a bad race, I would say. It was kind of a bad race for me, so third is always good.
Coming in, you're 15 points out. You've just been hanging on to this title fight with these solid results. So does it still feel like you're just like knocking on the door of opportunity every week?
Yeah, it definitely feels that way. I mean, we've been, like you said, just knocking on the door, like hanging in there, you know? Solid year, but nothing crazy for me. I mean, results haven't really, I think, translated into how much work we put in preseason and the last couple weeks during season. So I'm just hoping we get a good start and just mix it up with the guys tomorrow. I mean, what better way to take it all in the East-West, you know?
In Foxborough, kind of all those guys started in front of you, but then you were pretty close to Vialle at the end, for example. Was it like nice to see that you charged up to the group a little bit this time, or does it still feel like you were just missing a little piece?
Yeah, I think for me, I mean, I'm always better later motos, or later in the moto, I should say. I started fourth right behind Vialle, and then we hit a couple lappers. I missed the back rhythm twice, and that cost me a lot. He got me a couple seconds. I lost the toe, and in the last couple laps, I brought it back in within a couple seconds. So for me, it was cool just to see like later in the motos, no matter where or how far back I was, I could kind of catch back onto the guys. But we have a whole nother coast added into the equation this weekend, so it's going to be all about a start. That's all I can say. I mean, no matter how much speed you got, it's going to be hard to get through guys when they're as good as they are, you know?
I did a little deep dive on your qualifying results this week, and the speed's always been there, but I feel like it didn't always translate into the night show, but this year it seems like it's been way more consistent with translating, not even results-wise, like just in terms of performance lap after lap. Did you do anything specifically like this year to turn that around, like either mentally or with like training with the team or anything?
No, it's honestly just these past couple years stacking up on top of each other, you know, like I've always wanted to emphasize qualifying because that, like you said, translates into the heat race and then into the main event. And yeah, you just like snowball on to like a really good night, where vice versa, if you like struggle in qualifying, you're just questioning like the track into the heat race, and it's never a good night. So I think last year I was able to I think get second or third some qualifying rounds, but this year it's been consistently like I'm knocking like top 3, top 5, which has been super cool. I mean, like I said, it's something I've been working on for the last couple of years. So just to see that actually pay off, it's been nice. I just want the rest of the piece to kind of, be there.
Yeah. Lastly, like you said, it seems like if you got to start, you would stick with those guys pretty much from the beginning. So let's say you hole shot tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Win?
Yeah. I mean, that's the goal. I mean, that's what we practiced during the week. Just solid laps, and tomorrow it's just going to be 2 great starts that really dictate, I mean, whether we're on the box or not. But that's the goal. We're going to be on the box, hopefully, and then out in Nashville later in the night.
Talking about your season real quick, because I feel like you've been getting better. Like just watching your performance week after week, it seems like you're more comfortable throughout the day. Qualifying's looked a little bit better, and then main events have gotten slowly a little bit better too, right?
Yeah, it's I would say we're definitely off to a little bit of a slow start, but you can't really ask for too much when you had a whole year off. Unfortunately, these guys are going fast right now, and last time I left off, I thought it was going to be things are going to go a little easier than I thought, but it's racing, right? So I'm excited. If anything, I'm just excited to be back racing. This is my first time ever racing Nashville. The last 2 times that we raced here, I've gotten hurt due to injury, so this is one of the ones that I've definitely looked forward to. But yeah, it's definitely to kind of go back to that. It's definitely been up and down, but we've gotten better.
Yeah.
We've gotten a lot better. Team's been working really, really hard and stuff like that, and just getting a little bit more comfortable. Just trying to get off the gate and get in there and get in the mix. But I felt like for me, it's been coming from the back and stuff like that, and definitely a lot of dirty air back there. And these guys are great. The 450 class is no joke right now, and I love it. Yeah. I love every bit of it. So it's even if you're not going out there to win, I always tell some people like now that the racing's so tough. If you're not winning, 8th place is just as hard to get first. You know what I mean? Like it's tough out there. So that's what's making it fun. And again, we're going to keep trying and keep digging deep.
Like I said, qualifying looks like it's gone a lot better for you as well. When you come off the track, then you look up at the board and all that stuff like that. Does it build the confidence week in and week out to be like, oh, P3, P4, all that?
Of course, it feels good, because the hardest thing is like you can literally be 15th and be like, oh, I'm half a second off of first. Like it's just, but it's, of course, we all gonna sit here. I ain't gonna lie, we all sit here and look at the pit board, the board, and try to figure out like, man, like I was out trying my hardest out there, and I'm still that far off. They're like, oh, you come in, you're like, yeah, you're 0.5. I'm like, oh. Okay, I guess it's not that bad, but it definitely does build confidence. And again, for me, I'm just glad to be back racing, right? And in each and every race, I learn something and get a little bit more in development with the bike, me and Tune. And again, like when you feel like, for me, it feels like forever since I was racing, but now I finally got some racing under my belt. It's been feeling really good.
How has the progression been with you on the bike this year? Because it sounds like off-season went pretty well and everything was flowing, and then as you got into the season, maybe didn't kind of hit your stride, I guess, with it?
Well, I guess a lot of it has to do with we had so many mud races, right?
Yeah.
So, any slight adjustments, we're like, all right, we made some gains this week, and then we go to the race in the rain, and we're like, well, did it work?
Yeah.
Right? So, again, we had a great off season. A lot had to do with more so of just getting back on the bike, and things were going, clicking the way it should have been. And we're obviously trying to translate that to the race. But again, when you already know racing and practicing is a lot different, right? You ride the bike totally different. The tracks have definitely been feels like an outdoor national. Half of them been this year. So, but it's, we're learning and we keep moving forward. And it's not just challenging for me, it's challenging for everybody. So it's exciting, and I'm going to say it again, I'm just excited to be back racing.
Like you said, this is your first time racing in this stadium. When you come to this specific part of the country, does it get a little bit of like, oh, I remember coming to Loretta's all the years and being in Tennessee and stuff like that back?
Actually, I think I've ever flown this airport once out of 15 years. So I was like, I've been here a lot and drove right on through the motorhome, but never actually stopped, so. But yeah, yes, definitely brings back a lot of memories for Loretta Lynn's, and it's just, I feel like this is just a great place for everybody that kind of lives in the I guess I would say the central part of like America, for easy to get to, you know. So this is almost like the East Coast of Vegas nowadays. I feel like.
Hey man, everybody's retiring, but Chiz just keeps on chizzing. So are we chizzing again in 2025, or can we talk about that yet?
I don't know for sure, but I mean, I would like to be. So we'll see. Yeah, nothing set in stone, but I would like to be.
Stone. All right. Season-wise, though, for you, I feel like slowly building back to yourself a little bit each week. Do you feel that that's kind of the progress you're making?
Yeah, a little bit. It's just tough. I mean, for the most part, everybody's been healthy this year, all the top guys. And I mean, coming into this season, I was just like, gosh, it's going to be hard to just be in the main event every week. And it's been like that. So, yeah, I've had a couple 13ths, been my best finish. So, but my riding's gotten better. We've learned some stuff with the bike. We changed suspension companies this year, me and Shane, to KYB. So, kind of figuring that out as we've gone. And that was a little bit of a late change for us because we went so late into the year with the World Supercross stuff, so we didn't have much time kind of developing that. So I'm sure you guys noticed Shane's been riding really good lately. We've kind of figured some stuff out, and yeah, so I think it's steadily gotten better and better, but yeah, there's just so many fast guys this year, so it's tough. But yeah, I think I'm 16th in points, and I think I got 14th last year in points. So, but there's a lot less guys there towards the end last year. So, yeah, happy with it. Just want to be better, obviously, always, but just each week we've gotten a little further up, closer to that next group of guys, like where I want to be. So that's been good.
Like you said, the field is deep and the attrition rate has been low this year.
Yeah.
Feld has made all those changes to the track of 9 whoops, no dragons back.
Yeah.
Do you feel that the safety of the track has improved the attrition rate this year? Is that part of it? No?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I've done this a long time. I've raced races when there's 2 sets of long whoops and they're big and hard and steep and difficult. And I've raced races that have 8 whoops in them, and you're jumping them the whole time. And I think just it's the sport, it's what we do, and you have those cycles and those years where just more guys get hurt. I think that when the competition level is high, everybody's always pushing, and to me sometimes the easier track kind of lends to more injuries sometimes. So to me, if anything, I've always thought, yeah, the less difficult the tracks are, kind of the more times people get hurt. Obviously that this year, it's not that the tracks are easy this year by any means, but it's just, I don't want to say luck, but it comes and goes. People get hurt and stay healthy longer sometimes. So I don't think last year the tracks were any different than they were this year for the most part. I don't think, not that I really remember, it wasn't like, oh my gosh, that dragon back took 5 top guys out last year. Whatever. I don't remember that ever really. So yeah, I'm not a fan of the 9 whoop thing and the no dragon back things. I think there's a safe way to make a dragon back that is safe but still difficult, whatever. But I think we ride motorcycles, we ride dirt bikes, and we're jumping big jumps, and it's dangerous. So, yeah, the 9 whoop thing kind of sucks too, because we end up just going triple, 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 or quad, like whatever we did the other week. So, not a fan. I wish we had 2 long sets of whoops, if it's me, my biased opinion. Yeah.
I've heard some people say they think dragons back to flat would be much better than dragons back over a jump or something like that, and that was at Anaheim, but then they took it out. Like, do you feel the same way, and why would they have taken it out at Anaheim then?
Well, yeah, like I said, there's ways to make an obstacle that's still kind of tough and technical, that kind of separates guys, but still as safe as it can be. Like I said, we race motorcycles, so even if we're racing in this parking lot, somebody's probably going to get hurt at some point, right? So I don't think there's a fine line of making something that's technical and difficult and safe and something that's dangerous, right? And most of us, especially I guess for me, I would say, I've been around long enough and I kind of know, like, hey, that's dangerous, like that needs to be changed, or like, hey, that's tough. The difference between dangerous and tough. And I think they're just making 9 whoops and only dozer whoops and no dragons backs. They're taking like the tough part of what we do out. And I don't mean tough like, oh, I'm a tough guy, like just the difficult, right? The technical, skilled, where you can showcase a skill, right? Like that guy's really good in the whoops and he can be better than somebody else. And I don't think it should be long whoops every week. Some weeks should be 9 whoops, some weeks should be 15 whoops or whatever. Maybe make them smaller and longer. So yeah, like back to your dragon back question. Yeah, of course, a dragon back to flat is probably safer than onto a tabletop or a really steep single, but why not make a nice round roller that we can, if you kind of endo, you can save it, right? But you could also endo off the dragon back to flat and still crash. You can endo on a single and crash, whatever. So I think they just need to find a better happy medium of still giving us the Supercross obstacles that have been around for a long time, and then completely taking them out. I love the Feld guys and AMA guys and Dirtworks guys, so not like pointing a finger at any one of them, but I wish they kind of came around to more of the riders and teams and kind of got their opinion before they kind of just make a decision like that. I think maybe going forward would be a better way to maybe go about it.
Yeah. Lastly for you, I believe it was a couple weeks back you got the 200th career main event, right?
Yeah.
What does that milestone mean to you?
Yeah, getting 200 main event starts, it's not something that I ever like when I was younger, turning pro, like I want to be a pro and I want to get 200 starts. It's not like something I set out to do. But as I've gotten older and just kind of reflecting a little bit more and kind of looking back on, what I have done, it is a cool thing to just, to have that much experience, to do that many races. And obviously I've tried to race a lot more than that. I haven't made the main event every time. So, yeah, just to kind of hit that is cool. And to be in that, other guys, names associated with that are guys that I looked up to growing up, and just a cool group of people, of other riders that I have a ton of respect and look up to have my name associated, on the same stat as some of those guys is definitely something that's really cool. So yeah, not something I set out to go conquer by any means, but yeah, looking back, it's something that's really cool to say that I've done.